Hi guys. So today I was thinking that I will speak about spiritual depression. That's something I've been suffering with for ever, I would like to say. Some of you know that I've been talking about this before, that I have had a death wish since I was a kid. And I grew up in a very good family. Good parents, no siblings to fight with, I'm the only kid. And even though I wasn't missing anything in my childhood, I never felt that I fitted in. And I remember I might be 10, 12 years when it started, where I was laying in the forest, and we also had a little patio down there with grass, looking up to the stars and wonder, what the hell am I doing here? So I always had an emptiness within myself, always. And I remember when you fall in love, you forget that emptiness for a while, but when that stops, you start to look inside again and wonder what's wrong with you, what am I missing? Because I'm not happy. And I should be happy. I have a good husband, I have 2 brilliant kids. I worked as a tan and a silversmith. I had my own business. I had my own christening collection that I sold out to every jewelry store in Sweden. And I wasn't happy. I've never been really happy in here. And I never knew what it was, because everybody says you have nothing to complain about. You have everything, so you didn't complain, because people will think that you are stupid. So when I went down to Karlstad's Spiritualist Society for the first time, I felt something close to home, close to my heart. And I didn't start it there actually, because my ex-father-in-law, bless him, he was a huge inspiration. He's in the spirit now. One of the bravest men I ever known. He was a wonderful man. He actually said, healing might be good for you, Mia. So I booked a session for healing, and I remember laying there on a massage bench. She played some beautiful music. She had this little room in a basement with a lot of crystals and books and everything. And she took me through a meditation, and then she gave me healing. And I was laying there feeling, do I feel anything? And I didn't feel anything, if I should be honest, nothing. So I was quite disappointed afterwards. I thought this was a waste of money and waste of my time. But what actually happened was, when I walked out from that room, sitting in the car on my way home, I'm happier than I've ever been. So of course the healing worked, just not on the physical elements, and maybe not on my slow mind, but my soul got nurtured. So that's how I started to get an interest in different things, spiritual things, and I ended up at Karlstad Spiritualist Society, as I said. And that's also where my ex-shitty husband, as I call him, and he was a medium. And so even though I went through hell with him, backwards and forwards, literally, I had free, education for almost 10 years. I lived and breathed spiritualism. That was me. And I don't actually think, when you reflect back, that I actually was in love with him. I was in love with what he represented. And when you've been having this emptiness within you for over 25 years, I think I was 28 or something when I met him, and you feel joy for the first time, and you feel that it's not that empty in here anymore, I thought I found what I've been looking for all my life, and that's maybe why I've been feeling what I've been feeling. Today I'm no different, of course I do, and I can still hit spiritual depression, mainly when I'm not working. So my work is my healing actually. I love my work, but the thought of it sometimes can be very stressful. And especially if you're doing private sittings, private readings, and the expectations you feel from the clients that are actually coming. I don't think I will ever be too comfortable doing private sittings. There will always be an edge there, a nervousness that you feel that you have to deliver, so to speak. But I have learned how to cope with it, and I've learned how to take away most of the stress about it, because I know when I'm sitting there, it usually are okay. And I'm also very honest with my clients today, how I'm working, what comes from me, what comes from spirit, and how I'm feeling, and I can only do what I can do, you know. So I try to take away the most of the pressure on myself, and I learned quite well over the years. But still, there still is always an apprehensiveness feeling when you're working with the spirit, because you never have a concept, you know. It's not like you can read a book and memorize it and there you have it. No, it's an experience every time. And when I'm having a break from my job, after a while I think something is missing now. And I know this is like a drug for me, you know. I need spirit energy. I don't have to work as a medium, but I need the energy from the spirit. If it's so is sitting in the power for them, sitting in the meditation and invite them in, or whatever, you know. But I need that energy to fulfill my hole that I have in my heart. And I came across a lot of people who doesn't realize why they are feeling like they are feeling. Because they might be like me, they're growing up in an atheist family, you know, you don't look into religion, you don't look into spiritual matters because it's just mumbo jumbo, you know. And you are supposed to be not right up there if you're going down that path. So sometimes it can take quite a long time before you're actually finding yourself and before you find your path in your life. And today, also, a lot of people scream to the spirit, well, help me, guide me, show me a sign, blah, blah, blah. Today, I don't scream to the spiritual when I need help or when I need guidance. I look within inside myself, because my soul, my spirit is my compass in this life. And my soul, my spirit knows exactly what is good for me and where I need to go in my life. It might not be the easiest way, but it certainly is the right way. And I noticed as I started to listen inwardly to myself, no, everything is not smooth, you know. And don't you for a second think that the guides will tell you what to do. I usually joke and say they are like a bunch of politicians, you know, they say everything and nothing, you know. Because I do believe in personal responsibility, so I don't believe that they are allowed to tell us what decision to make. That's up to us. But they can help us and guide us towards that decision. But I listen inwardly, and as long as I'm in contact with myself, as long as my life is not upside down, I know that I'm making the right decisions. So I become a quite much, how do you say, softer, calmer person than I usually was before. And I can miss my ups that I usually have that, but I don't miss the lows that I had. Now I'm more like this, you know, in the middle. And that can be quite boring as well sometimes, because you want that edge, you know. So therefore, I love my work with the spirit, because nothing is the same. There's a challenge every time, and I need that challenge and to overcome challenges, because it makes me happy. It feels like I have accomplished something. And especially if I found a piece of myself within me that I know this is something I need to listen to, why I'm reacting like I'm doing, you know. So I believe that we have a lifelong journey of learning, you know. We never get there, because if I would be there, I would probably go home, because then I fulfill my mission, I suppose. But for every one of you out there who might suffer with an emptiness within yourself, I would say it might be your soul and your spirit screaming for a change in your life, screaming for something else, maybe just to sit and find yourself, maybe see the spirit, the soul, the beauty that you actually have within you. Because spirit, for me, is pure light. And there's nothing evil, nothing bad within the spirit. But life indoctrination, when they have bad upbringings, for example, can turn human beings into evil people. And it's quite common actually, and I'm happy I didn't go down that road, became bitter and things like that, like I've seen some in my family done. But I'm happy also that I found my soul, my spirit, because it teaches me who I am, and I'm happy with who I am today. And it took me quite a long time to get there. So if you, like I said, feel that emptiness within you, it might be just a spiritual depression. Bye.